I buy them a Macintosh computer, and I give them a scholarship to go to college.
Oh! Hi, I'm Jolene Chang. Welcome to Women Who Go For It. It's a video series designed to empower and motivate women to step up and take action to lead happier lives. I interview intelligent, dynamic women. We look at their influences, their best practices, what they've learned along the way, and how they operate. When you watch these videos, look for one idea that you can use. You can test it for the next 2 weeks so you can elevate your level of happiness. Go for it. We're here with Lethia Owens. She was ranked number 8 out of the top 30 brand gurus in the entire world. And oh, by the way, she's training to be a pilot. This woman, she does many things and does them well. We're going to hear from her how she keeps focused and concentrated. And also, how does she get that boost of creativity in order to serve her clients? What I'm very excited to share with you is how she's helping girls achieve their dreams. Lethia Owens. Hi, I'm Jolene Chang, and I'm with Lethia Owens, who is a marketing and domination strategist. Curious? A little bit. Go for it. What?
I'm a branding and market domination strategist, and I help people get noticed, hired, and paid what they're worth.
And who for?
I work for Fortune 500 companies. I speak and coach both in the corporate and in the entrepreneurial space. And I work with people who are game changers, who really want to take their business and life to the next level.
All these words, I'm like, oh, that's branding. That's those specific words, it's working.
Yeah.
When you go back to your childhood, when did you see seeds of personal branding and domination?
Well, I had this girls group. We were a singing group, right? And I was the lead singer and I was the front person. And then one day my mother told me, honey, you can't sing. So I fired myself and became the manager, and that was when I started to understand what it means to really like package something and get it out into the marketplace. I would put on shows in our neighborhood. People would pay 65 cents to come and see my girls perform, and it was fabulous.
So when did this begin?
I was 10 years old.
So how did your mom tell you that, and how did you accept that?
She said, honey, I have something to tell you. You can't sing. And that's exactly how she said it. My mother was not a sugar coat. I mean, my mother didn't care. She lost the Mother of the Year award. And the way I responded to that was, really? Well, if I can't sing, what can I do?
Oh.
You know, so it wasn't the, I can't sing, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. No, it was, that's not what I do well? But what do I do well? And I noticed that I was great at organizing and getting other people to come and be engaged with us. So I said, well, if I put all of my energy into marketing our events, then we would be more successful. And that's what I did. And we ended up competing on some TV shows and everything. So it was pretty cool.
I did not know, but does not surprise me. In terms of, most people would feel rejected if somebody actually, even now, our age, older, would feel completely rejected if you told me I couldn't do something. But somehow your mom has trained you or something to be able to accept feedback. Yeah. How did that happen?
I don't really know how it happened, but I do realize that I discovered early on a gift, almost a love affair with feedback. I've become a person who I strive to know. I want to know. It's not, and I want to make sure this is clear. It's not this thing of, did I do good enough? Did I do well enough? Like, was that good enough? It's not that coming from a place of lack of confidence, but it's coming from a place of wanting to be exceptional. And so it's about me knowing that this may have been good, but I have better in me. And so I'm always very curious about feedback. You know, what did you think? How can I improve it? You know my little pink envelopes that I passed out?
Yeah.
Sarah Petty is my friend, and she is phenomenal in the area of creative design. So when I gave her, I was hunting her down, and I'd given my little marketing kit to people, and they were like, oh, this is wonderful, Lethia, this is great. I gave it to Sarah, and I said, Sarah, tell me what's wrong with it.
Oh.
And immediately she said, it's this, it's that, I want to see you do this, I want to see you do that. And I had some great concrete things that I can do so that when I reprint in a couple of weeks, it's going to be even more amazing. But I thirst for that feedback. So I've learned, and I learned at an early age, to appreciate feedback, to almost have a love affair with feedback, and to see no and rejection as just feedback along the way. It's just feedback. So no now does not mean no forever, except maybe in the case of singing. So
I love that. That's so important. And a lot of people have a hard time with that. When you're getting feedback, how do you, either back then and now, how do you ask for feedback? Well, you showed us one way, but with people, other people, how do you ask it from strangers?
Yeah. So what I always do is help them understand why what they're sharing is really important to me. If you just ask for feedback, people don't know, well, does she really want feedback or what?
Yeah.
So I will usually say, you know, one of the things I'm working on is XYZ. And because of your expertise, or because you just saw me perform, I'm really interested in what you could share with me with regards to what I did well, and one thing you think I should focus on to get even better. Right?
You just teed that up so beautifully. I'm going to go verbatim of that language.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
When, let's say in the last 2 weeks, when has that helped you outside of the year package?
The
Feedback.
Oh, feedback. Outside of my package, I have a mentor who is really, I mean, I can't spend 5 minutes in her presence without me feeling full, right? And she gave me feedback. She said, Lethia, I need to share something with you. And I'm all excited because I'm thinking she's going to pour this nugget into me, right? And she said, you are enough. And I said, what do you mean? She says, you share so much with people. You give so much of who you are when you meet people and the people that you connect with. But I don't want you to give because you think people want to be with you because of what you know or what you can do for them. I need you to know that you are enough just as you are. That people want to be with you not because of what you know, but because of who you are. And that was huge. That was huge. And so what she made me do was start to evaluate in every encounter, how am I showing up? What is the energy that I'm sending? Am I being helpful, and am I sharing what I know? Am I giving you things because I want you to appreciate me and I think that's the way that I need to do it? Or am I doing those things because I want to see you win, or I want to see you excel? So what is the motive? Is the motive self-directed, or is the motive service-directed? And I don't think I would have gotten there had she not given me that feedback.
What kind of evaluation questions do you ask yourself?
Oh, every night before I go to bed, I ask myself 2 questions. Every night, I say to myself, Lethia, have you done your best today? Right? And the answer is usually yes. And then I say, Lethia, can you do better tomorrow? And the answer is always yes. So notice, I didn't say, well, what are you going to do better tomorrow? For me, that's not the intent. The intent is to go to sleep with an aspiration for waking up with an opportunity to do and to be better.
Now, if your answer is if I'm Lethia and I say, Lethia, have you done your best today? And the answer is, no, I got sidetracked and then I just, what if your answer is that?
Excellent. So I spend no more than 15 minutes focusing on, whenever I'm evaluating my performance or how I've shown up, I always give myself 15% of the time that I'm allotting. So if it's, let's just say it's 100 minutes, then 15 of those minutes would be used to focus on what do I need to improve? What are going to be my action steps for making sure that I do better in the future? And then I spend 85% of my time focusing on what went well and how can I leverage and duplicate what went well.
And then your next question is to plant the seeds to get this verbal commitment and visual that, yes, I will do better tomorrow.
Absolutely. That is I go to sleep with that on my mind, and that is the thing that makes me wake up every morning around 5 o'clock without an alarm clock. Like 4:55, and I'll wake up and say, what time is it? Oh, time to get up. 5:06. Oh, time to get up. But it's that going to sleep with an eager anticipation that I get to do this all over tomorrow. That whatever I did that didn't work, whatever failures I've had, whatever, whoever I've disappointed, guess what? We disappoint people every day. So I've just decided I might as well manage who I disappoint. I might as well choose who I disappoint, because every day I'm going to disappoint someone. Sometimes it's my daughter, sometimes it's my husband, sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a client, sometimes it's myself. But I intentionally decide who I'm going to disappoint based on my priorities. So when I go to bed at night, I'm able to release all of that and say, I can do better tomorrow, and I will. And so when I wake up, the excitement of being able to do it over again, to try again, to strive again, excites me, and it wakes me up with an eager anticipation in my heart for what's to come. I believe that every day I will meet someone who will forever change my life, and I will learn something that will forever change my life. And guess what happens every day? I meet someone or I learn something that changes my life.
5 o'clock in the morning, you get up. How do you start your day? What are some of your, do you say those in your head? Do you write them? Do you have some mantras like that? Or are those it?
Yeah.
Or?
I have something called the Mindset of a Game Changer, the Game Changer Manifesto. So these are phrases that I say to myself, every day. But I joined the 5 o'clock club. I read a book called Time Tactics of Very Successful People by Eugene Grisham, probably 15 years ago. And in that book, Mary Kay Ash said, I joined the 5 o'clock club. That's how I get it all done. And from that day forward, I joined the 5 o'clock club. So I get up every morning, 5 a.m. I spend time on self-development. I spend time in prayer and meditation. I spend time focusing on taking care of my body. And then I plan my day. But some of the things that I tell myself is, I have been created to create. That is my calling, my purpose, regardless of the specific niche, if you would say, of what our job is or our purpose is in this world. At the end of the day, it really is to create more love, to create more peace, to create a product, to create a service, or to create something in this world. And so the very first mantra in my Game Changer Manifesto is, I was created to create, and I will do so masterfully. Masterfully means that I strive every day to seek to do it to the best of my ability. Another mantra is, be who you are on purpose and without apology, right? Collaboration is the fastest path to success. So partner with people who you can serve and who can serve you. Right? So those are the kinds of things that I say to myself every morning. I read my little card. It's a little card, and I read it. I see the words. I don't want to just say them, but I want to see the words and say them at the same time and let them become a part of who I am, so that those words resonate in every fiber of my being. And the very last statement in my manifesto is, I am a game changer and I will change the world. I believe that. It may be in some tiny, small, fractional way, but I will change the world. The world will be different because I've lived.
As you've read these, do you do any mirror action? Read in the mirror?
I have not, but I think I might try that. Okay. I like that.
I remember the SNL from the 90s, I'm good enough and blah, blah, blah. But because...
and God darn it, you're going to love me, or something like that. Yeah.
Because so many successful people do have those mantras, and some, I'm sure the mirrors use. I'm not sure who yet.
Right.
I might try that. As you're going along your day and you get some phone calls, and then your phone bill is messed up, you have to be on customer service, and it throws you off like 2 hours. How do you get yourself back on track with, I'm going to make a difference, I'm going to meet that person? I mean, with that mantra, how do you get yourself back on track when you have distractions that happen and it starts to ruin your schedule?
Right. So I was at the conference, and guess what? My email and my website went down for over 18 hours. Yeah, so it happens. Life is...
How did you manage it in your head?
And when I called the office, my main person who would have taken care of it for me was at the doctor.
Darn.
So my email's down, my website's down, and I'm out of town. Right? And so immediately I went into action. What needs to happen? Who do I need to get engaged? Who needs what information? So I immediately thought about, who do I need to put in place, or who do I need to communicate with to make sure this gets taken care of? And I could have, I'm passing up my little, marketing information.
Yeah.
And guess what? You go to the website, there's no website, right? Imagine how I could have felt, right? But here's what I said. At the end of the day, if I've done my best, all I can do is wait the results in peace. If I've done the best that I can do, at the end of the day, all I can do is wait the results in peace. Yes, the website went down. If someone went there and they saw the website was down, they're going to make a judgment, I'm sure. But based on maybe how I've shown up and who I am and what they know of me, I just have to believe that the best opportunity or the best possible scenario of what's best for me will happen. It will happen. So failure, foul plays, missed balls, all of that is a part of this game. But it's not so much how we hit the ball out of the park and score a home run that matters so much. What matters, I think, sometimes even more is how well we handle situations when we threw the basket and made it, but it was for the other team.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, right? And you become that girl, right? Or that guy. But it's how you handle those situations that really determine, who you are and really show the world who you are as a person. And so I could have been like on my team, like, get back to the office. I don't care if you got a doctor's appointment, right? But no, I care about my people. And so take care of you. You do what you need to do. I'll jump in and get on the phone with tech support, and I'll make the calls, and I'll do what I need to do to make sure that this gets back on track. And when you come back to the office, I'll hand it off to you. And that's exactly what I did. And so I walked around the conference smiling, talking to people, even still handing out more pink envelopes, because I believed that eventually everything would come together and it would work. And it just would, right? And so I don't know if there's really a strategy that people could take away from that and say, I'm going to do this, but that's just how I showed up, and that's how I handled it. I don't let myself fall apart, because I realize that things are always in divine order. Things are always in divine order.
Well, as I try and process here, I think it's believe. You're believing it's going to work out. And the idea that these things are not really in your control. There was something that happened with your host, and who knows? So you can't do anything about it, really. You can try and address it, but I think it's like, hey, it's out of your control. Because I'm trying to think of, I get really frustrated when I have to talk to customer service with the cell phone company. I get really angry, and I have to, no, it's fine. I'll expect 2 hours of my day needs to be done, and I'll multitask while I'm hanging online. So, and then I'm also thinking about taking care of yourself first. With a 5 o'clock club, you are getting yourself all together so then you could be more productive.
Yeah, like grounded. Like, I think when you become more grounded, it's harder for things that happen during the day to push you over. But if I didn't ground myself in the morning, I would not be as stable as I think I am during the day.
Now, in terms of planning out your day, how do you plan it? And do you have benchmarks? Do you use timers, incentives, consequences? How do you do it?
So I have I love Post-it notes, right? So I am so elementary and old school, it's not even funny. So I have a planner, a Levenger, and I printed out these grids, and so they have all these little boxes, and it says to do. They're little blue boxes, and they're the perfect size of the little rectangular Post-it notes. And so when I have a thought, I'm like, oh, and I'll scribble it on a Post-it note, and it goes into one of those blue boxes. Now, on 2 pages, the last column of 6 is green. So everything that's blue says to do, and the green says doing. So I can only have 6 things that I'm focused on right now that I'm doing. So I'll pick 6 of the little Post-its and I'll position them in those 6 spots. And when I finish one, I'll turn it over and it's all yellow and it says done. Bam! Bam! And I get to put the Post-it on the done side and I flip it back over, so now there's an empty spot. And I pick another Post-it and I position it there. So that's how I kind of manage that. But what I do is I plan weekly, I evaluate daily, and I adjust hourly.
Now, you have technology, certainly, so it's kind of funny. We both have lots of tech.
We're geeks, I'm a geek.
But no, I'm complimented by that.
Yeah.
But you're using this old school and Post-its, and tell me why you choose that instead of all of your technology. I love technology. I'm a gadget girl. If it calculates, beeps, or processes, I probably own it.
One of
True.
my highlights of coming to this space of where we get to see each other face to face right now is I can't wait to see you, because I'm like, what is she gonna have that I can buy? Because I think I bought most of what you have sold, right, or what you have to offer, and just sharing your technology and your wisdom. But I do use my technology for strategy and planning, but for my task management of what I need to do every day, I use this old school system that's very tactile and very colorful and very fun. Like, it's fun for me. It brings an element of fun.
Because I'm thinking of, I'm moving this so there's more engagement.
Yeah, and
for all your body.
Yeah, and I get to pull off a sticker, turn the page, and bam,
nice.
Did it
With the audience.
And around the border, I have statements that inspire me. Like, I want to change the future for my grandchildren. Right? I am bigger, more powerful, and more valuable than I've ever been taught to believe. So those words surround my action guide. You can't really do that as easily or as creatively or as emotionally in a technical fashion. So it's very emotionally driven for me. It's the fun, and it's the reminder of just how important this work is. So even when I sometimes want to say, well, I'm done for the day, and I see that little statement that I'm trying to change the world, for my children, change the future for my grandchildren, it inspires me to do that one more Post-it, take that one more Post-it and finish that task to be able to put it on the page that says done,
How do you get creative? Let's say you have a client and you're branding with them, and you need to just, you need some more creativity juice. How do you get in that mindset?
I go to the store.
Yeah. What kind of store?
In the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I go to the magazine section, and I buy Vogue. I buy high-end luxury or premium kinds of magazines, and sometimes the real thick ones, and I just flip. And I look at the magazines on the airplane. When I'm reading them, I'm just looking at the words that other companies have used, the branding, the messaging, the positioning of how they're selling products. And lo and behold, I'm always inspired. There'll be one word that will jump out at me, and I'm like, like one word that will jump out to me, and I'm like, that's so my client, And so even though I don't use the same verbiage or the sentence, the messaging or the positioning and the packaging, like, it just pulls out of me a realization of something that's connected to my client, and then I can go back to that client with this one word, and then the whole world opens up. So that's my kind of crazy little strategy for how I get creative again from a branding perspective.
That was not what I was expecting.
And people, these individuals have spent months, sometimes more than almost a year, thinking of the 6 words they're going to use to sell this product.
Right.
So there's a lot of genius wrapped into what I'm seeing.
Yes.
And I try to look at that and learn from it and use it to inspire me to be that for my client.
Women are really important to you, and you want to empower them. Why is that so important to you?
At 14, I dropped out of high school.
Oh.
And I was a teenage mother.
Oh.
At 14.
Wow.
Now, as a mother, fast forwarding, I would freak out if my daughter were doing anything like that at 14. Like, it would just drive me crazy, right?
Yeah.
But the nature of my personal situation with my family a series of events led me to ending up pregnant at 14, and I dropped out of high school. And I had women, high school teachers, who were so passionate about me coming back to school. They were so adamant when my family didn't believe in me, when my community didn't believe in me. I had 2 teachers, Mrs. Overstreet and Mrs. Creech, who believed enough in me to just speak into my life and to tell me that I'm bigger than my situation, that I have more potential than I even realized. And I couldn't even understand those words, but somehow they inspired me to see beyond my situation. And so I ended up coming back to school. I ended up getting a full ride scholarship to attend college. And by the time I was 32, I owned 4 companies. I was the CEO of 4 companies. And so women are very important to me, because when you give a woman a mission, a vision, or an idea, she literally has the power to change the world. And so I want to be that for other women. That's one of the reasons why I watch a Makers video every day. Makers is a website. Makers.com is a website that has the largest collection of women's stories on the planet. And Underground Breakers, that's my favorite section, right? Underground Breakers, I watch a new video every day because I want to listen to another woman tell her story, because there's so much for me to learn.
Goosebumps! Goosebumps!
There's so much for me to learn. And I'm also preparing myself to tell my story even more effectively. So I'm studying how they're telling their story, because that's the mastery in me, right? That seeking to be excellent. But then there's also the mentee in me. These women don't even know they're mentoring me, but that's the mentee in me wanting to learn from them and to understand their journey so that I can be that to someone else. So I have a program called For Millionaires, and my goal is to create more female millionaires.
Millionaires.
For millionaires, like female millionaires, right?
Yes.
And so I take high school senior girls. That for me, that was a pivotal point for me, because I was going to be a cosmetologist. I wasn't going to college. But I eventually, did end up in college. So I want to catch these girls who maybe most of the people in their lives are telling them that they can't do it, that they're not going to be anything, but yet they have the aptitude and the ability and potential to be so much more than they can even see of themselves. So I want to take them for a year under my belt. We have 3 girls who are going through the program this year. I have a market domination certification program that adults pay me to go through so that they can teach my content and so that they can coach using my content. I'm teaching these girls. They are becoming certified as market domination strategists. So when they go to school, Jolie, next year, when they go to college, they don't have to work at the Gap. They don't have to work at Burger King. They can sit in their dorm room with the Macintosh computer that my company will have given them, and they can earn great money on their own terms, right? And so I want to empower them. I want to give them hope for a different future than the one that they currently see. And I have my colleagues like you who become For Millionaire mentors, and they then do a webinar or do some kind of training with these girls throughout the year. We are going to Bali during the summer with, guess who? Jana Stanfield. So that's our For Millionaire missions trip in between high school and college, where they have to go and take all that we've poured into them this year. They have to go now and pour into some other young girl in some other country.
I love it.
And all of the money, so they're interning with me as well. So all of the money from the project that they work on, at the end of the year, will match it. We go on the missions trip, and then the money that's left over, I buy them a Macintosh computer, and I give them a scholarship to go to college.
Oh! I love powerful women who are generous and empowering others.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are your websites where we can learn about the millionaires as well as yours?
Yeah, so the one site you really need is LethiaOwens.com. That's L-E-T as in Tom, H-I-A, Owens.com. That's my hub site, and that's where I'm constantly updating it with information about what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with and where I'm doing it. So if you want to know anything about me, you can go to that website and find out.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.